Hello listeners and welcome to today's Cult News. I'm your speaker Casey, host of the Cult Vault podcast, and today I'm going to be looking at the news coming out of Kenya regarding mass graves and the deaths of over 100 church members, including a large number of children. Earlier in April, I reported that 15 people had been found in the Shakahola forest in Kenya after law enforcement were given a tip of extremist religious practices taking place in that area. When police arrived, 4 people were found deceased, with 11 found extremely emaciated. They had to be rushed to hospital and placed in intensive care. At the time of reporting, police had also been tipped off about a collection of mass graves which they had located and began excavating. At first, it was thought that there were around 100 members of the Malindi church group in Kenya, led by Paul Mackenzie Nthenge, who was teaching members of Malindi that in order to be visited by Jesus Christ and in order to reach heaven quicker, people needed to fast past the point of starvation. Over the following weeks, police continued to find more and more mass graves, with numbers going from 20, 40, 80 deceased members found within those graves. The total is now over 109. New information has led law enforcement to believe that there could actually be over 200 members of the Malindi group, causing grave concern that there may well be many more mass graves to find. CBC News has reported that so far children have made up the majority of the 109 bodies that have been recovered from mass graves in the Shakahola area. And observations are concluding that starvation may not have been the only cause of death. An article by Monitor.co finally highlighted the similarities between the Malindi group in Kenya and the events of the Movement for the Restoration of the Ten Commandments of God, which took place in the 1990s, where over 700 members were found systematically killed in Uganda and buried in mass graves, with leaders Joseph Kibweteri and Credonia Mwirindi supposedly running away with the money they had collected from followers. What is coming out of Kenya now is that other pastors are being arrested and somehow are involved. CBC says on Thursday a pastor at a separate nearby church, Ezekiel Odero, was arrested. He appeared in court in the coastal city of Mombasa on Friday but was not charged and was ordered to reappear on Tuesday. He remained in police custody. A police document presented in court and seen by Reuters said police have established that several deaths were recorded at Odero's New Life Ministry between 2022 and 2023, and that those bodies may have been moved to the Shakahola forest. Following this, the Mirror reported that another religious leader, Helen Wanjiru Weri, unrelated to the Malindi group but actually the leader of a group known as the Army Ruwama group, that Weri claims to have been in charge of this group since 2006 and was arrested and charged for imprisoning 31 people inside her home, starving them. Law enforcement rescued 14 adults and 17 children, some as young as 2. According to the article, a mother had become concerned after she had secured some healthcare work for her daughter, but her daughter refused to go to the new job, declaring that she needed to travel to Weri's location for fasting and prayer. The mother informed law enforcement of her concerns, which led to a raid on the property and the rescue of 31 people. It seems as though there could be some epidemic spreading across certain parts of Kenya that results in groups taking part in extremist spiritual practices that include starving and killing children and themselves. Law enforcement have commented about putting extra emphasis on locating any other starving groups and hope to bring harsh charges against leadership. Unlike the case in Uganda, where leadership fled and the story received little coverage, it seems that the world is watching Kenya in real time. That is the end of today's Cult News. If we get any updates on the state of events in Kenya, I'll be sure to offer an update. I'm your speaker Casey, host of the Cult Vault podcast.